Hello guys, I'm Altis here and welcome to something different. Something that should have been on the channel since I created the channel. That's right, a Let's Play. And all of the YouTube poops I've been making, you shouldn't expect to see them. This is the type of content you should normally see. So I guess the game, as you can see I've highlighted here, that's the game I'm going to be Let's Playing. And it's going to be a 100% Let's Play. Yes, I know. GTA San Andreas, that's a long game. I know. And the thing is, it's one of my favorite games. But you shouldn't expect to see these types of games on my channel. Now, I might have the next games, or the games in the series, on my channel, but don't expect to see them. Okay? So, let's go on with the show, and let's get this up and running. And if you've noticed, there isn't any game audio, and that's because, apart from a few scenes here and there, GTA doesn't actually have a proper game soundtrack. It just has copyrighted music, and that's the soundtrack. So I thought it would be easier just to play without the game audio on, so I don't have to do anything in the settings, and I could just leave this as is. And I think we can just skip this because, to be honest, this is long, and we have a time limit here. Well, I'm opposing a time limit, so let's get a move on. And let us begin with this show. I guess I should say, because this is a 100% Let's Play, the ending of this game is a little bit weird, as in the fact that there's things, like, you can basically 100% the game at any point when you unlock the content. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to 100% the game before I finish the final mission. That's only because I'll have a more entertaining finish. It's not just going to be, hey, I bought the final house, that's 100%. That's just going to be good, I guess. And now I guess the background story of this game is that Carl moved away, or CJ moved away, and then he had to move back because his mother died. I don't know how she died, but she just did. And I guess we're getting introduced to not only CJ, who was the man in the singlet, but we get to introduce our main protagonists, the cops. Now these cops are pretty not good, like, at all. Like, these are cops that you see on the news nowadays, especially in America, but not here in Australia.
Welcome home, Carl.
And I'm sorry about the lag. It's just this is an old laptop, 3 years to be exact, and kinda need to get a new laptop. But hey, it's running kinda fine. Oh yeah, I guess I should mention, there isn't going to be a schedule for this. It's just going to be whenever I have a episode ready, I'll upload it, but don't really expect to see a schedule for it, to be honest. Oh yeah, I guess I should also mention, this game has a tendency to swear, like, a lot. And if you guys are fine with it, will only censor 2 words. both in my commentary and in the game.
Fine man, I might.
Those words will be fuck and cunt, and maybe the N word, because that isn't a good word.
Don't bullshit me, Carl. Yeah, don't bullshit
Yeah.
me, Carl. What the fuck you want from me this time? When we want you, we'll find you. In the meantime, try not to gun down.
And I'm sorry about me drinking a drink. I'm just drinking Dr. Pepper on the side, and I guess Red Bull.
You was innocent, Carl. You don't bang.
Yeah.
Be around like a donut, Carl.
Of course I mentioned a fucking donut. Jeez. Jeez. Wow. Yeah. And now I guess this is something different in GTA, having gangster rivalry, and there's a meme floating around the fact that Carl is African American, and the first mission, I guess you can call it, is just stealing a bike to get back to where you need to go. But let's just let that slide for now. I mean, we kind of have to get our surroundings and to get out of here. And I'm not entirely sure if this is just a result of my game lagging or the fact that there isn't a run option. But I guess we can just slowly make our way to the bike, to the yellow bike, and get out of there from there. And I guess I should mention, or I should add, it's not really an important thing, but it can work, or does it work as an important factor. But the time, like most games, it works like the hours are a minute and the minutes are seconds in real life. And the lag is unbearable in this. I'm so sorry about this. Really. There we go. And now I should also mention there are going to be a lot of things where you're going to be driving to place. And the thing is, this is the way I'm going to deal with this. If it's a short drive, then the first time we have to go there, I won't cut out, but any other time I will cut it out. But if it's a longer drive, I will just kind of briefly highlight what path I'm taking and what path you should probably take as well. And I'm stuck in between a post and a car. That is brilliant. And this... the lag is making it hard to fucking drive or ride a bike. Yeah. So for longer drives, I'm just going to briefly highlight on the map where I'm going to go, what path I'm taking, and then I guess if there's any interesting commentary along the way or something interesting happens, I'm just going to cut to that, and then once that's over, I'm just going to cut to either the next interesting thing or the next place. And I guess you should know this already, but there's on the minimap there's a thing called CJ, and those are there's going to be things like that where it just tells you where missions are going to be. And there's going to be a point in the game where there's multiple of them. And I guess the way I'm going to be dealing with that as well is I'm just going to go to the mission thing that appeared first, and sometimes there'll just be multiple missions in the place, and I'm going to do all of them until there's no more missions left in that area, and then go over to the next place, and just do that until we have run out of missions. And then another thing is that this game is known for collectibles, like a lot of them, and there is a lot of them. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a montage of them and then upload them after the series is done as a bonus episode. So, if you see me with a weapon or something that you haven't seen me with before, then that just means that I've collected all the collectibles and I've gotten that. And I'm just taking a little bit of a shortcut here. The normal path you're supposed to take is go down to the bridge and take another path, and a car just blew up for some reason. The game tends to do that, like, the AI is just weird and wacky. But yeah, I like taking a shortcut here because it's just a better way, and then I've been doing this, like, been taking this path for like a while. Like, all the times I've restarted the game, I've just taken this path because I like this path. It's like shorter, but then like I've sometimes where it's not shorter because the fall, like the way you have to fall, I guess. I don't know. And then please bear with the lag, I guess.
Grove Street, home. At least it was before I fucked everything up.
Yes, you could say that, CJ. And then in the corner there's information spots where they tell you, or the game tells you that there's information, a little bit of pattern place. I'm not going to go there. And then the game tells you how to get off a bike. And then a note tells me to go into the red market to continue. But there's only a few ways to sell your vehicles. And these are the garages, and there's like not many chances to do that. So just basically store any vehicle you have, basically, especially the good ones. And then with the cutscenes, the first time we come across them, I'm not going to skip them. But if we fail a mission, I'm going to skip the cutscene then, and only then. And this game was also known for having a lot of cheats and glitches. I'm not going to be using cheats until a bonus episode at the very end, where I'm just going to show off all the cheats and all the ways that they could be useful for you. Because this game is really hard. Like, really hard. So people use cheats a lot to make it less hard.
Hey, Big Smoke, it's me, Carl. Chill.
And also,
Oh my God, what's up?
please don't spoil anything about the characters in the comments. Just leave it, please. Because there's a lot of big plot twists towards the end of this game. So please don't spoil it for me, please, or for any other people. Because I guess it's kind of impossible to spoil it for me since I've played the game like from start to end a few times, and I've only 100%ed it once, and then I've kind of got a story for that. I think I just did a huge play session where I was like 90%, and I did it all the way to 100%, and I didn't save once during that session, and the game crashed, and I lost all that progress. No, it wasn't that. I accidentally deleted the save file. So, yeah. Yeah. So I guess this is a little bit interesting, and it's a bit weird. The yellow text up there is the text for the missions, or for the mission names. But for this, it just tells you the characters in that font. So it's a little bit weird. Like, they're not missions, they're
Just like Brian.
the names of the characters, which is a little bit weird.
Not for the past 5 years, she wasn't, nigga. And where the fuck you think you going?
Get out my face. I'm going to DC.
The hell you are, girl? You ain't messing with them essays. You know we teachers. They ain't nothing but a bunch of lowlife.
What the fuck are you?
At least I got principles.
Oh, and I guess that makes you an upstanding
Oh, yeah.
American. Tell him.
This Caesar, which we'll see later, and another character are two of my favorite characters on this game. Oh, and another character we won't say until a little bit later.
What you mean?
And I guess you could kind of split this game up into sections because this might, I think this is the largest game map of any GTA game.
Big devil over there.
And there's different cities, and throughout the progress of the game, we'll be going to each different area. And there's 4 times that happens. So I guess we could kind of split the game up into 4 segments. We're in segment 1, and segment 2 is different. Yep, I guess this is another instance of Ballas. And normally this would be the first instance, but I guess I was a little bit lucky. And I guess I was able to find one. And anytime you see a blue one, or a vehicle with a blue arrow over it, that means you can't progress the mission unless you get on the bike. I mean, you could get into a faster vehicle like a car, but you won't be able to see where your homies are. And yeah, just telling you how to properly ride a bike, but there isn't any need to do a bunny hop. I just kind of like doing bunny hops. And I think that the pose for for preparing a bunny hop is hilarious. Like, just look at that. So, like, in real life, this wouldn't do anything. You'd probably fall off. Like, to be honest, like, what the fuck is this? And the funny thing is about this, for, I guess, NPCs like Ryder, who is the guy that was beside me, Sweet and Big Smoke, their AI doesn't change. But the weird thing is, NPCs around us, like the people in the cars and people walking along the streets, they change every time you play the game and every time you play a mission. So you can get interesting things where a car would just be parked in front of them and they would just keep on going. And one thing I really like doing when I'm, I guess, a little bit bored is messing with them and see what they do. Like in this point, you can get a car and you can just block them. And just, like, especially on this mission, just block them. And, like here, like, Ryder tried to go left, but I was blocking him. And here, because I know what to do. Yeah, I know what to do. You don't need to follow them, you just, because they'll follow them around. Well, like, they have a set path, but the location is different. Like, you're going to a set location and it's just easier to go straight. I guess the only reason they went that way is to avoid the Ballas. And the Ballas only follow you. So that's why they followed me, but not them. So I guess you could kind of use this as a strategy to make them follow you and make sure that they don't get killed. Because they can get killed and you will fail the mission if they do get killed, which kind of sucks. So we're just going around here, and I should probably get out of the way of this taxi. What? What? I'm sorry, but what? So yeah, we have to go under the car park, or on the car park here, which is underneath the highway. This doesn't end the mission, but there's just moves the mission onto something else because something else happens here and stuff. It's also very funny how like experience works, because a few years ago I could barely do this mission. Like I couldn't do this without cheating, and now I am able to 100% the game. Although I guess I should say that I only 100% the game because I used cheats. I guess this makes sense because of the way that I took. But when you're following them and the ballers are following you, they're basically following them, which is weird. So, I guess they didn't notice that I took a different way, and the ballers only followed me for some reason. Excuse me. But also the weird thing is, after this point, you don't see the car you saw before. Okay, we can go this way. It's the camera and the leg and the sheet and the car that's honking. Wow. That's what I mean. It's like the AI of the important characters doesn't work sometimes. It doesn't know what it's doing. That's it, really. And that's another thing. You lose control of CJ whenever he's getting into a vehicle or getting on a vehicle. And if something happens to bump into the vehicle you're getting into, CJ would just stop. Just, for some reason, just stop and not get in it anymore. And I guess another thing, this might be a glitch, or this might just be something about my computer not working. But for some reason, after like long sessions of playing, the button to get into a car, which is enter for me, won't work anymore. So I have to like go into the options and select another button to be enter to get into the car. It's just weird, I guess. But then again, I think there's this button that makes it so you're on melee mode, I'm guessing, and that just makes it so you can't enter cars, and your base stance is the melee pose. And the cycling skill, every different type of vehicle, so that's bikes, motorcycles, and cars, each have their own skill. And like the cycling skill, you can bunny hop higher and you can reverse at higher speeds without falling off. What? So that just means and I think they don't say this, but you can just fall off, or you can't fall off as easily as before. So that's why I was able to make that fall, but I wasn't able to make that fall because I didn't have my cycle skill upgraded. Yeah, and the only way I think to upgrade those skills is just to ride in them for like multiple periods at a time. It isn't required to max out that skill, but it's just super helpful. And I guess back in the bike park, you could see that every character took their own way, which is a little thing that I think is interesting because I think Big Smoke took the long way around the bike park, and I think Ryder went through, or like, went into the... I'm not sure what it's called, like the half pipe? It's not really a half pipe though. Oh yeah, there we go. There's the ballers for some reason. I really hope I don't die. Not here. Not at the very last second. It's going to suck if I die here, and they're pushing me into this, and this is really interesting. I guess I should mention before we finish this mission, anytime you die and anytime you get arrested, the first time you'll get this pop up, and that just basically explains what happens to you when you get arrested and when you get killed. But then after that, that pop up doesn't appear, and when that happens, like I just died. That is excellent. Wow, go me. So yeah, that's how much lag works, I guess. Or doesn't work, I suppose. Yeah, you lose health, or you don't lose health. You lose money, and you get your weapons taken away from you. And then when it's basically the same when you get arrested. But yeah, I should also mention I'm going to cut away until like when this is over. I'm going to cut away and come back to you when I'm at the same point as I was before, because I don't want this episode to be too long. So yeah, meet you back there. Come on, you know. Wee, wee, wee. Yeah. Really? Oh my god. Is my bike? Thank you.
Straight back into the game, right, dog? What you said before you left? East Coast got you all stand out.
Why is that gone? I guess that's a benefit for dying and having to do the mission again. Jeez. It's so fucking alive. That is an interesting filling animation. Please tell me you're selecting the bike and not a car. Because whenever you try and, like, that's a thing. I guess whenever you're in like a crowded place and there's a car you want to select or want to get in, but you end up just getting in another fucking car, like what? Yay, the leg is... Really? I'm like a block away. They can't handle me being a block away because I fucking ran into the car, my bike got glitched into the car. And the patient had to be difficult. Hi, sorry guys if you hear anything coming in the background. I'm at a friend's place because honestly recording at my house would be too hard to do. Because for one, my walls are paper thin and they aren't exactly soundproof, and I have an annoying sister and she can go die. Yeah. Ooh.
Come on, CJ. You can't keep up with the fat man.
Let's go this way since... I can't believe that fucking happened. Like what? Maybe it was punishing me for going the wrong way both times. Like I swear, like now it's like whenever I see a car coming up and beside me, I'm just fucking shitting my pants. The lag can go bad, but the lag might be good in some situations. Something smells like shapes in here. For your non-Australians, shapes is like a biscuit that are multi-flavored, really. Again. Please don't kill me. Again. But they shouldn't. Should basically be fine. Should be able to make it to the checkpoint before they get too aggressive, I guess. Yay. Oh yeah, I guess cutscene coming up now. I've had a lot of fun just messing with things in here. Like that. Just like coming up in front, it was like doing a fist bump. Yee boy. Yeah, like if you place a car on the path that Ryder takes, he will bump into the car and just like drag the car along with him. It is amazing. Just like silly random things that just happen. Also, I guess it would be collision. I just love the collision with the NPCs. Like Sweet and Big Smoke aren't even touching the handles. They're just like hovering above. Like Ryder's the only one apart from me who's actually touching the bike handles. Great game. Great game. Also, this is what I mean. Because in your house there's this save icon. What about like common game? I explained it before. Although I guess the game doesn't really expect you to save the bike you get at the start of the game because, to be honest, like, and because I already have a bike, I'm not saving it. Yes. And this, I think there might be a cutscene. Or, yeah, I think you can't progress unless you go up there into your house. Like normally when I'm not playing, like when I'm just playing normally, I'll like go inside, just come back out. And also that's something interesting. And I guess it is kind of useful for not really useful. But saving the game will advance the time by 6 hours. Which is interesting. Huh. Just gonna overwrite that because I have no idea where that came from. This is a game I just brought recently, if you follow me on Twitter. And yeah, I've been Figuralties. This has been GTA. I have failed on my previous standards, although I guess I'm just gonna pass on blame or throw me not playing this game for like a few years and the fact that the game acted weird. So, see you guys. And not sure when the next episode will be up, but I am bulk recording these episodes, so yeah, until next time. See you guys. I guess that's kind of a benefit for like, you can see the frames for the things that you can't normally see, which is really interesting. You fucking what, mate? Good thing.
You should hang me.
Why?
They're asking me to come again really bad. Like say something.
Really?